everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's topic, we're going to talk about power and refrigerators. A lot of people out there have been kind of asking around on what they're running in their Jeeps or their Toyotas or whatever for running a refrigerator. I had looked into building a whole complete solar setup, getting the panel, maybe getting like one of those Red Arc, whatever it's called, DC controllers and all that, and the solenoids to separate the batteries. But really, I chose the Jackery 500 here just for the simplicity of it. This is the Jackery 500. I believe it was around $500. I got it off of Amazon. And the fridge is, I think it's called the Alfie-Cool. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Alfie-Cool. It's the CF45 model. Really, like I said, I went for simplicity of it because this is the power station, this is the fridge. I don't have a million wires going around. I don't have to worry about wiring up solenoids so that it doesn't kill the battery on the vehicle. It's small, it's portable. I can take it out of the Jeep and put it in one of my other vehicles if we're going on a road trip for vacation or something, where it'll be nice to have this thing in the car with us. Yeah, but as you can see, this thing hasn't been running for very long, and right now it's at 33 degrees. And the cool thing with this fridge is it comes with an app that you can put on your phone so you can instantly monitor it. So right now, like I said, it's bouncing around. It just cooled down. I just had it on a little bit ago. It's down to 34 degrees. We're at 97% battery, and it's only pulling 1 watt of power. I'm assuming that's just to run the electronics in it currently. When I had plugged it in and it was room temperature, it took maybe 10 minutes to get down to this temperature, 10 to 15 minutes. And it was pulling about 50 watts of power. Now, from the reviews I've read online, this Jackery 500 running a fridge similar to this size, once it's pulled down to its temperature, you can set it in like econo mode. So I think what that'll do is it kind of opens up the temperature to where it's not going to cycle as often. So it's not going to be pulling too much power. And I've heard from the reviews that this unit here, with a fridge full of stuff, can run for about 36 hours without having to charge before it goes dead. Now, the cool thing about this thing is, what I'm planning on doing in the back of the Jeep is having a 12 volt plug that is on the key, so it's not getting constant power. So when the Jeep is running, it'll be charging the Jackery will be running the refrigerator. And then it's also got a 110 volt and USB for charging my cameras, my laptop, running camp lights on the back of the Jeep or something like that for nighttime cooking. But yeah, it'll be charging off the Jeep. Like I said, it won't be consistently charging. So when the key's off, that's it, it's dead. It's running on the battery on this. The input also takes, it's got here, 110 volt charger. So if I'm gonna be parked somewhere for a while and I do need the fridge, I can go ahead and plug this into an extension cord. It'll keep the Jackery up to power. The fridge will stay running, everything will be good. And it also runs off of solar. Now, for all of you out there that are looking at it, Jackery does make a solar kit. You can get that. I think it's about $200. But what I've decided to do, I'm going to order my own separate solar panel. Now, what I have also read is this unit can only take in the 100 watt input from a solar panel. So you can't go out and buy a 200 or 400 watt panel and plug it into this thing and expect it to charge even faster, because it will only accept a 100 watt panel. So I found an adapter and a panel, but what I plan on doing is when I build my roof rack, I'm gonna put a solar panel up front on a slide. So basically the Jeep will charge it, then when I get to where I'm going, shut the Jeep off, I can slide the panel out the front. It'll kind of overhang the windshield and the hood maybe. They're not too big, so they're probably, you know, I think the one I was looking at was maybe 2 foot by 3 foot or 2 foot by 4 foot. So it's not going to take up a whole lot of space, but I can slide that out, and then when I'm parked, the solar panel will be able to keep the Jackery powered up while keeping the fridge going. So really, the simplicity of it is way easier, I think, than having to dive in and buying all the power cords and building a whole system. You know, eventually maybe one day if I decide I want one and I'm going to be out for like weeks at a time, and the solar panel can't keep up, or if I'm going to be parked for a long time and I don't want to run the Jeep to recharge this, then maybe I'll look at something different with bigger solar panels, a different charging unit, and probably different batteries. But as for right now, I decided to go ahead and get this unit because it's nice, it's small, it's portable, and the fridge is perfect for the Jeep. You know, anybody's got an XJ out there or Jeep Wrangler, you know that there's not a whole lot of space in the back. I still have to build my storage unit, but with the price of lumber right now, probably gonna have to get a second mortgage on the house to do that. So maybe that project's gonna be kind of delayed to see if the price of lumber comes down. But so far, I'm pretty happy with the two. Like I said, this thing right now, it's set at 37 degrees. It didn't take very long to get down to that temperature, which is super awesome. And then once you pack it full of soda, water, beer, whatever you got, food, it'll hold that temperature better, because right now there's nothing in here. So it is gonna cycle more. I was just trying to test it out. I have let it run plugged in. I'm trying to decide, should the 12 volt or the 120 volt, which one's going to draw more power off it. I'll keep an eye on that and let you guys know. But right now I'm going to go ahead and run it on the 12 volt. And I can't wait to get this thing out in the woods and try it out and see how it handles. But it looks like, for as small and as simple it is, it's well worth the money. I went with the Jackery 500 instead of the 1000. One, for cost, and two, for what I'm running this thing on. Like I said, it's just going to be the fridge, maybe a couple small like 12 volt lights. It will charge like batteries and stuff like that, maybe run a laptop. So all the reviews I read, the Jackery 500, phenomenal unit. It's basically the middle of the road. And everybody that I've talked to and read about has said they've had no problems running all their equipment on it. And then when they're traveling from one campsite to another or something like that, it's able to recharge quick enough to still keep going and keep everything inside the fridge cold. The cool thing with the fridge is it also doubles as a freezer. It's not a dual unit, it is just one big unit, but there is a divider. But you can set this thing all the way down to pull as a freezer, which is awesome. So if you got something that you're going to be traveling a long way and you got to keep it super cold and super frozen, this will pull down that far. It will go down to 0 degrees. So that's awesome. But for the most part, it's just going to be sandwiches, lunch meat, meat like that, burger meat, sodas, water, that kind of stuff. So I don't necessarily need it as a fridge or a freezer right now, but that'll be cool to test it out and see if it will pull down all the way. See how much power it actually pulls from the Jackery when you're pulling a temperature that low. The other neat thing with the refrigerator is on the phone especially, let me see if I can pull it up here. On the phone here, you can see, I don't know if you can see clearly, you can set your temperature, you can adjust for eco mode, which I've heard once it gets down to temp, click it onto eco mode, it'll really save the power. I'm kind of wanting to see if you leave it on standard and then versus like putting it on eco mode, to see how long the Jackery will actually power the fridge on either setting, to see if it's something that, like, you know, on normal it's going to suck all the battery life out of it. But it will be interesting to see the difference between the two. But you can adjust the temperature from right here. It's got a low power cutout, so once it gets down to a certain battery voltage, the fridge itself will turn off. So that's kind of neat. So if you did have this plugged in to your cigarette lighter, you know, cigarette lighter in your car, and you forgot about it, hopefully it won't kill the battery on your car. It'll shut off on its own. So that's another cool thing. Like I said, the fridge also came with a 120 volt, which when I go on a trip, what I plan on doing is I'll plug the fridge into the wall, get it down to temperature, and then transfer it over so that this isn't taking the full load trying to get this thing down to temp every time. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. I can't wait to get out there. If you guys are looking for something small and portable, I would say the Jackery is a great option. It's nice and small. This fridge, like I said, this is the CF45 model, so it's a 45 quart. Plenty of space in there. And yeah, so far I like it. I can't wait to get out there and test it out, and I will let you guys know in a future video how it works out. But I mean, as for right now, I'm only pulling 1 watt on this thing, so if that's the case and this thing just sits at idle, it should go a pretty long time. So I'm kind of starting to see that the reviews that were saying this thing can go 36 hours or so, I'm gonna start believing them, because it will cycle. And when it does run, like I said, when it was running, it was pulling about 50 watts, but that's nothing compared to what this thing can put out. But that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing if you haven't already. And that's going to be my review on the Jackery and the Alfie-Cool CF45 edition fridge. But yeah, good deal. Can't wait to get out there and test it out. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Get out there in your projects. If you're done with your projects or you got time, get out in the woods, have some fun, do something. And yeah, we'll see you later.